Being a photographer creates the opportunity for you to go into lots of different places and take lots of different kinds of pictures. And sometimes those places that you're called to go to are new and different. I'm Bill Snodgrass, and in this video, we're going to talk about getting set up and prepared to take pictures of something that you are unfamiliar with, and specifically in the case of gymnastics. So it's a sports photography video about gymnastics, but the process that I go through to get ready to go shoot these gymnastics pictures is a good process wherever you're going, whatever situation you find yourself going into, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Whenever you go into a new situation to photograph something, whatever that is, there are a few things you need to do in order to get ready to do it. So the situation is that there is a gymnastics meet. It is tomorrow night. This will be the third gymnastics meet I've ever shot, the second one this year. And the very first one, I was actually just passing by when they were having their meet, and I just stood in one place. I wouldn't really consider that like I went to shoot gymnastics. It was like I shot gymnastics because I happened to be where the gymnastics were. When people ask you to go shoot something that you're not familiar with, there's a few steps that you need to take right off the bat. I'm going to go over those real quickly here. First of all, try to find out a little research. Do a little research about whatever it is that you're going to go take pictures of. If someone's asked you to come and take pictures of their sheep shearing or their whatever, I don't know, anything they've asked you, look it up. For gymnastics, back when I was a kid, there was only like 4 channels. There was the 3 networks, and then there was that local UHF channel. So the Olympics were like huge. We watched like all day long, whatever, we watched the Olympics, and I watched a lot of gymnastics. So I sort of knew what the events were from just my life experiences. But in a situation where I don't know what it's going to be like, that's where I'm gonna get on the internet. I'm gonna do some research, and I'm gonna try to see. Last year for track, as an example, someone said we really need some good pictures of the shot putters and discus throwers, and I was like, what's that going to look like? What does a really good shot put picture look like? Because you got this and you got this, and so I looked up, and I kind of looked at a lot of like Sports Illustrated and Olympic level shot put photography pictures to see what was a good. So do a little bit of research and get an idea what you're going to be facing, what your opportunities are. The second thing is, whoever invited you to come, whatever it is that's compelling you to be there, if they're connected to the event, then try to find out as much about what it's going to be. I shot a political campaign rally one time. So the person who invited me, I said, so what's going to happen? Where are the people who's coming in? Is there a guest book? Are we going to cut cake? What's going to happen in this event? Get as much information before you get there so that you know as much about the event as you can. The third thing is, if there's someone who's going to be participating in the event, someone who is an expert at it, not just like the yearbook person asked me to go take gymnastics pictures. The yearbook person doesn't know anything about gymnastics either. Or the yearbook person or the newspaper editor said, hey, go down here, there's this picnic, go down to the picnic, take some pictures. The editor doesn't know what the picnic is going to be like. Find someone who's going to be at the picnic. In my case, I found a gymnast. I went and talked to one of the gymnasts, and I said, what should I expect? How's it going to work? What should I do? I asked one of them at the event last time. I said, balance beam. I said, where's the best place to take pictures? The end of the beam or the side of the beam? And the gymnast said, yes. And that was very telling to me, because it said to me, both the side of the beam and the back of the beam, where the beam is into the camera, both of those, I was told, were good angles. And so I started at one place and I worked my way around. The fourth consideration is the venue. If you have an opportunity to go to the venue before the event, and since I shot this once already, I've already been there. So if you have an opportunity to go to the venue before the event, you can get an idea of what your camera settings are going to need to be, where you're going to be able to stand, where are the spectators going to be? If you're shooting a high school event, basketball, soccer, whatever it is, if it's a home game and you're shooting the home game, there's a pretty good chance that some of the people in the stands are there to see a specific person on the field or on the apparatus or whatever the case may be. So make sure you know where the spectators are going to be, and be polite not to stand right in front of them, because you're getting a shot, but you're also blocking their memory. So make sure that you're not cutting off the person who bought a ticket to see their son or daughter participate in this event. Make sure you're being polite and taking care of those things. So those are the 4 things. Do some research, see what you can find out about. Number 2, talk to the person who sent you and see what they can tell you. Number 3, find someone who is going to actually participate in the event, who can give you tips and pointers about how the event transpires. And the 4th thing is visit the venue ahead of time so you can get an idea of what kind of things you need to do in order to prepare. What lens do I need? Which camera should I use? Am I going for high shutter speed? Of course, with sports you are. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And then the last thing is, like, at the time of the event. This is like when the event starts and you get there. Try to identify the coaches and the officials who might have something to say about where you go and what you're going to be doing, and make sure that it's okay for you to do the things that you want to do where you want to do them after you've made out a plan. Share that with the people who are because the last thing you want to do, I was trying to take a picture of somebody over there at the last gymnastics event. So I was standing over here, and I was over there doing this thing. And then I got up and started walking. Now, I didn't walk onto the runway, but where I had been standing was near the vault area. And one of the gymnasts was coming down to do the vault. I didn't even know they were coming. It was okay because they were just doing warm-ups, but nevertheless, I stood up and started walking while they were coming down the runway, and that could have been distracting. So making sure you know what's going to happen, where's a good place to be, where's a bad place to be, and try to talk to the officials and the coaches and make sure they know what you're doing. So there's no confusion, and there's no awkward moments when the coach is like, "What are you doing here?" I did this with the swimming. We had different judges at the swimming meets, and I would always check with the judges and say, "Is it okay if I'm here?" And he was like, "I just need to be able to see." So make sure that you communicate with the people who are in charge of the event. All right, next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the specifics of shooting the gymnastics event. So those are the considerations that are true for any situation where you're going in, where you're learning something new, and do all those things. And then when you get there, do that last thing I said. And then so the next thing we're going to talk about is getting ready for that specific event. All right, let's talk about what to expect when you actually go to the gymnastics meet and go there to take photographs. So there will be a gymnastics teams. If it's a competition, there will be at least 2 teams. Sometimes they'll have dual meets. Sometimes they'll have multiples. And there's in high school gymnastics, there is uneven bars, floor exercises, vault, and balance beam. And each team will go to one of those apparati. They'll go to those things, and then the members of the team who are going to do that event will do it. They'll do the vaulting, they'll do the balance beam, they'll do their routine on the floor. And then after the team has finished that apparatus, they will go to the next one. And then the other team. So if you're there to just take one team, it's really an easy matter of, like, you go get set up at vault, take your pictures there, and then as the team rotates, or whatever they call it, they go to the next thing. Now, some of the words I'm using, like whatever you call it or thing, obviously tells you I am no expert in gymnastics photography. But in the first segment, I talked about what I do to prepare for it. Again, when I get there tonight, so when I get there, I'm going to do what I did last time, and hopefully, I got some really good pictures last time. Hopefully the things I did last time will carry me through. It is a sport, so you're going to want whatever lens you're comfortable shooting with in an action environment. I'm going with a long telephoto. This is a 7300 because this will give me the ability to get further back and out of the way more. Now, last time when I shot this lens on floor, where I was standing compared to where that, I was really kind of jammed into the 70 range. But for all the other events, so I might take another lens tonight so that I can get a little more of the floor exercise than I got last time. Shutter speed. Now, it is a very fast sport. It is a sport. It's action. You want to freeze the action, but it's not like volleyball where they're smashing the ball and the ball is moving extremely fast. The speed of a human body compared to the speed of a spiked volleyball is much less. So again, my rule of thumb for shutter speed on sports is anything under 500, and you're hoping to get a lucky shot. You'll get some good ones and you'll get some bad ones because they'll be like 500 and up. I found that I was able to get 800 and 1,000 and freeze the action real well last time. ISO, this camera has the ability to go pretty high ISO. You're going to have to work that out in your venue. The place where our team does gymnastics is terribly lit. Everything is painted gray and maroon and then like off gray and then black. It's just a really difficult color palette to work with. The light is not quite adequate. Hopefully, maybe you're shooting in a place where the lighting is better. And that's it. So the team is going to do their events. They're going to do their apparatus. They're going to move from place to place. I'm going to follow them around. I'm going to take pictures. So they'll. Last time they started on vault, I think it's like not necessarily the same. Depends on what teams are there, how many teams, who's going to be where, and what's going to be happening. So I'll meet the coach, find out what's going to happen, and then just kind of go from there. So they have vault. So I'll show some of the pictures. In the vault pictures, vault is a lot like diving pictures. I talked about making a diving video, and if you get it in the wrong place, it looks like someone who just fell out of the sky. If you don't have any context for the vault pictures, it's very confusing to see a body just in the air with and I had the same experience with some diving pictures. Vault pictures are like that. Floor exercises, the tumbling runs are exciting. You can get some really cool, and the context of having the floor in the picture will make sense of the handsprings and the cartwheels and all the things, round-offs that they do. And then there are also little dance pieces within the floor exercise. They'll have little segments where they're dancing. And there's a lot of very photogenic moments in those dance segments. Even though I guess the gymnast would say, well, that's just kind of filling in between the tumbling runs, it does make some really nice pictures. Balance beam, you're going to have some various levels depending on the gymnast's skill level, various different tricks and stunts. One of the things that's part of the balance beam skill set is to leave contact with the beam, jumps and leaps and things like that. And so capturing that, expecting to see that they're going to do some kind of jump where they'll come up. Sometimes they'll jump up and do splits, depending again on the skill level of the athlete. And I've seen some of the athletes last time went down and actually did sort of a tumble or like a roll or a lay down on the beam. So those are things you can look for in balance beam. Bars, if you've ever seen the Olympics on TV, you know what to expect from that. I'm sure all the tricks and things have names, but they go on the high bar and the low bar, and they go back and forth. They go around the bar, and all of the events, except tumbling, the floor exercises doesn't really have a dismount, but they have that last thing they do. So there will be a dismount off of the balance beam. There will be a dismount off of the bars, and then the vault is kind of like a dismount in and of itself. The whole when you go over the vault and land on the mats. So you have that dismount at the end of beams to look forward to. That's what you have to look forward to. That's what you have to kind of plan your shots around. Where you can stand and what you can do is a part of that's going to depend on the venue, where the stands are, where the spectators are, what the coaches are going to allow you to do. For most of the only thing that I got jammed up on last time was floor exercise. So I'm probably going to take, besides this, I have a 28-135 EF that has really good glass in it, and I use it a lot for event photography, and I even use it for portrait shoots. So I probably will take that in addition to the 7300 tonight. All right, so if you have some tips, if you're an experienced gymnastics photographer, please add some comments and suggestions. What is your best tip for someone? Share that down in the comment section. If you have any additional information besides what I said, or questions, I will do my best to answer them, even if I have to go talk to like the coach or one of the athletes and get more information. So please correspond with me down in the description section. Please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, sign up for notifications, leave me a comment, question, suggestion. That is all for this episode. Hope you enjoyed and I have to blur the faces. So if you notice the blurry faces, that's because these are underage athletes, and so just as a matter of privacy protection, I blur their faces. And they all know who they are, and their parents probably know who they are, but the rest of the general public doesn't. So that's the blurry faces. Hope you enjoyed the pictures. Hope you maybe this will give you some ideas what you might do if you go shoot a gymnastics meet. See you in the next video.